Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you the long-awaited video on my microbladed eyebrows, or my experience with microblading my eyebrows. If you're unaware, I got my eyebrows microbladed last year in August, or maybe you're watching this video and you're wondering, what is microblading? Well girl, we're gonna talk all about it, my experience, why it didn't work out for me, and my thoughts on the entire process. So here we go. All right, so what is microblading? If you don't know what microblading is, it's okay, because neither did I until mid last year when someone told me about it. If you guys grew up in the 90s or maybe 80s, you probably grew up with parents and aunties and uncles that had their eyebrows tattooed. We have all seen those brows that are like bluish, green. It just does not look natural, and it looks like you literally just took a Sharpie and boom, boom, did your eyebrows. Okay, so microblading is kind of like the updated version of that. With microblading, you're basically getting your eyebrows tattooed, but not really tattooed, because when you get it tattooed like people did back in the days, it's done with like a tattoo gun, and it's almost impossible to be able to do nice feathery strokes that actually look like eyebrow hairs. With tattooing your eyebrows, it just does not look as natural because you can't do those soft feathery strokes, and also with getting a tattoo, it goes deep into your skin, versus microblading, it's only on the surface of your skin, meaning it is semi-permanent. It only lasts about 1 to 2 years, versus if you got your eyebrows tattooed, it would last anywhere between 8 to 10 years. Or maybe forever. If you guys have followed me for a while now, you will know that my eyebrows do not exist, okay? I literally have the thinnest little line. It's just not in my genetics. I have never had thick, full brows. So the whole point of me getting my eyebrows microbladed was because I saw all these photos and so many people recommended it to me. My cousins had it done, my friends had it done, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get them done. And with me, I have really oily skin, and every single time I would draw my eyebrows in, at the end of the day, I feel like my eyebrows were just smudged and it just did not look good. So I was like, microblading could possibly be the thing for me. I decided to get it done in August of 2016, which was roughly about 9 months ago. And I've honestly heard mixed reviews. I've heard some people say it is the most painful thing ever, but personally for me, it was like, okay, I have a very low pain tolerance, very low pain tolerance. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being extremely painful, I would say the pain was like a 1. And I think it wasn't painful for me because my tattoo artist, she put a numbing cream on me prior to doing the procedure. Now I want to share with you guys a little bit of the process, okay? So the first process, like I talked about, is the numbing cream. So the numbing cream will go around your eyebrow area, and step 2 is where they start to draw in the stroke. So instead of using like a tattoo gun, it's actually like, I mean, from my memory, I remember it just being like a little blade, and it has like little teeth on the blade, so that she dips it inside of a paint and then she just kind of scrapes it onto my eyebrow. So with this process, she went over it over and over. So it wasn't like she just full on and went in with all the strokes at once. She did it in layers. So that way I think it just looks the most natural. So that's pretty much the process. It was really chill. Like I was talking to her the whole time and it went by really fast. I think I was in and out of there within 2 hours. The aftercare is very important. You want to make sure you don't get some sort of infection. You want to make sure you keep everything clean. I'm sure if you do decide to do this, the person who does your eyebrows will give you aftercare instructions. But for me, I remember having to clean it 3 to 5 times a day with just warm water. What I would do is get a cotton pad and soak it with some warm water, and I would just gently wipe the eyebrow. And I also remember the first 2 days of getting my eyebrows done, I was sent home with like this ointment, and I think, if I remember correctly, the ointment was just to prevent any sort of bacterial infection. So in the morning, at night, right after I would cleanse my eyebrows with the warm, wet cotton pad, I would apply this cream over my eyebrows. Other than that, I don't feel like the aftercare process was hard or anything. It's very straightforward. You want to avoid getting soap and water in it for the first 2 weeks, but if you do, you know, just dry it off and just make sure you keep the area clean. That way you don't get any sort of infections. And now, the peeling process. The first layer of your eyebrows will fall off, or at least the tattooed part of it. Not your own eyebrows, the tattooed part of it. For me, I believe the peeling started on day 5. After your eyebrows peel, it may look like the strokes are gone. It's totally normal, it does peel, but once your skin heals itself, the eyebrow strokes will slowly come back in. So I think it peeled for a good like 5 days. So I was peeling for the first 2 weeks, and then after that I started noticing little brush strokes coming back out. But I did notice that it did not come back full force. Like it was not like pop-in sexy ass eyebrows like how I walked out of the salon that day. After the peeling process, the strokes are, you can really tell that the strokes are coming from underneath your skin, and it doesn't look like the sharp feathery strokes anymore. It has more of a blurry type of look to it. It's just not super sharp. You see the lines, but the lines are a little blurry. I'm sure it varies person to person, but for me, after the whole peeling process and after my eyebrows were fully healed, I didn't like how it looked. I did like it as far as having more to my brows than I originally had, but it just did not look perfect like how I wanted it. I noticed a lot of patchiness with my eyebrows, like some spots just did not have the strokes anymore, and it was just kind of like an empty spot. With the place I went to, they have like a 2-step system. So the first time is to get your brows done, and then after your brows fully heal, after I think like 6 to 8 weeks, you have to go back in and then have a touch up. About 8 weeks later, I went back in, and same process, same thing. This time it was a lot faster because I already have my base down, and it was just her going in and filling in the spots that are empty. So I think I was in there for only about an hour and a half, and I left. My eyebrows looked fucking amazing. It looked so good, and it was everything that I've ever wanted for eyebrows. But then it peeled, and it did that same, you know, skin renewing process, and the same thing happened, as most of you know from the vlog channel. After it would peel, I noticed that the tattoo started to look very blue. It was a very ashy color. I was not in love with it, and I talked about it in the vlogs before, but I was kind of hoping that it would get better. So I was really patient with it. I waited. Months passed, and I just knew it was not happening. I talked to the girl who did my eyebrows, and we finally kind of came to a conclusion on what really went wrong for me. I think this is really important to share with you guys if any of you are thinking about getting it, because if you have the same health issues that I do, this is probably not a good idea for you. The good thing about getting this done is that it does eliminate the time of getting ready. So that's the good thing, and that's the only real good thing I can think about, because I have way more cons to my experience than pros. So let me just kind of talk about why I feel this way. If you have oily skin, more than likely, I don't think you will like this, because the oilier your skin is, the faster the eyebrow wants to fade. And I also found out afterwards that with oily skin types, you're more likely to get that blurry look, like that eyeshadow kind of filled in look versus the sharp strokes, because the oil in your skin is just blurring the lines, if that makes sense. Personally, I just feel like I wouldn't recommend it to people with oily skin, because it will, one, fade really fast. So I'm about 9 months in, and it's already flaking off. It starts to look pretty bad 6 months in. So to spend that much money to get this done, and if you have oily skin, you literally just have really perfect, beautiful brows for 6 months, and then after that, like I said, with oilier skin types, you'll probably start having patchiness going on. And it's fine if you're willing to go in every day and fill in your eyebrows, but if you're the type of girl where you want to wake up every day and already have your brows, not do anything with it, and you're oily, it's not gonna work. Like 6 months in, you're already gonna start to notice the patchiness. So that's my little advice to you. Next thing that is really, really important to me that I have to tell you guys is that if you are anemic, check with your artist first what type of ink they're going to use for your eyebrows. This is something I didn't know going into this, and I wish I could have known, but at the same time, I feel like even if I did know, I would still probably take a risk, because I really, really wanted this. So if you're anemic, if you don't know what that is, it means that you're low on blood, your iron levels are low, and that's what I am. Anemia runs in my family. I've been anemic. Excuse me! The tape just fell. That's scary. Okay. Anemia runs in my family, so I've been anemic my entire life, and the ink that my girl used was an iron-based ink. Basically, I'm low on iron, the ink is iron-based, it just didn't work well with my blood and my skin, which is why my eyebrows turned that ashy color, because the way my skin oxidized mixed in with like how my blood circulation is and everything, that's why I ended up with the ashy color. That's also another reason why the ink did not stay on very well for my skin, and it faded so fast. So if you guys are really looking into this and you are interested, I would even go the extra mile and go get your blood test and like just see if your iron levels are low, because if it is and you're going to someone who uses iron-based ink, which I think is pretty standard in microblading, then you might have the same experience that I did, where the eyebrows turned ashy and that color won't stay. My eyebrows are filled in right now. I have a wipe. I just want to take it off to show you guys how my eyebrows have healed so far. As you can see, it is patchy, especially right here in the front. I have more brow hairs back here, so it looks a lot fuller, and it's not as bad back here. As you can see, the strokes are very feathery. It's not a sharp, crisp line. I also want you guys to notice the strokes down here. I'm not sure if that makes it show up better, but these are my brows right here. And if I lift it up, you can kind of see where it was filled in. It's a very harsh, like thick, blurry line, if that makes sense. So that's that on this brow. That's pretty much all I outlined for this video. I honestly went into this whole process really excited because one, I really wanted more eyebrows, and two, because I really want to share something like this with you guys. Like, this is not just going out to get your hair done. This is like getting something semi-permanent on your face, you know? Like, this is a huge deal, and I did so much research before it, but nowhere did I find that people who are anemic will probably not have a good reaction to it. But anyways, I did so much research, and I really truly thought that this would work out for me, but it's unfortunate it did not. I really was bummed out about it for a while, and I didn't even want to film this video. But in the last 2 months, I told myself, like, it's okay, Weylie. The reason why you got this done was because you wanted to share your experience. And although I went into it thinking that my experience was going to be positive, it came out negative, you know? And this is something I need to put out there for you guys, because although this is semi-permanent, only lasts 1 to 2 years, it is something that you are semi-permanently putting on your face, and it's going to last a while. So I want to share this experience with you guys, and I really hope that will be helpful to you. Just keep in mind, this is just my experience, one person's experience. Lastly, one thing that I do want to note to you guys is the whole fading process. Even if you have dry skin and everything, there is gonna come that point where it starts to fade, and it's not gonna fade evenly. It will not. Like, it will fade in patches because your skin will just naturally do that. So just keep in mind, like, when it does start to fade, are you going to continue to do this? Like, are you going to continue to get your eyebrows microbladed for years and years? Or are you eventually going to come to a point where you're like, I just need to give it a break and just let it fade out? So during that fade out process, you are going to have patchy eyebrows. You are gonna wake up every day having to fill in your eyebrows, and your eyebrows are just not gonna look cute when you have no makeup on. So that is definitely something I would think about. And with that being said, you don't want to commit to this years and years to come, because you are damaging your skin. You are breaking skin. So there's only so many times you can break your skin before it starts to scar. And by scarring, I mean, have you ever like scraped your skin, and once your skin healed, you have that shiny layer of skin? Eventually, I feel like your skin will protect itself by scarring, and you're gonna get like a shiny layer of skin. And once you get that shiny layer of skin, you're not gonna be able to tattoo over it anymore. So that's just my thinking. I'm not the brow artist, I don't know, but that's something I thought about, and I thought I would just put it out there and maybe have you think about it. And if you do decide to go get your eyebrows done, ask the person who's doing your eyebrows. Like, tell them to just be real with you and tell you straight up, like, what's gonna happen after I don't want this done anymore. So yeah, that's that. I think I covered about everything that I can think of. I'm sure there's going to be more questions, so feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I'm sorry that it took me so long to finally film this video, but I do feel like I gave it a really good amount of time to really let it heal. And now that it's 9 months in, I can show you my progress on how it lasts. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.